From the Reaching, Teaching, Caring, and Sharing News Desk, this is Harvest News with Pastor Vaughn.
Good morning and blessings. I'm Pastor Vaughn, and here's the news. Our top story today comes from Fellowship Correspondent Vaughn Larson. Vaughn? Thanks, Pastor Vaughn. It seems like everywhere you look during the next couple of weeks, there's some sort of fellowship event. This Friday, for example, the North Fellowship Group will meet here at Harvest Church for a potluck and movie night, beginning at 6:30 p.m. The movie is called Catching Faith. That's the North Fellowship Group meeting here at Harvest Church Friday at 6:30 p.m. Saturday morning at 8 a.m., the men's breakfast will meet for food and fellowship at Roadside Grill in Windsor. At noon on Saturday, June 4th, the Central Fellowship Group will meet here at Harvest Church and take a field trip to Angel Park in Sun Prairie. The group will take in a free music event called Praise in the Park, which is a fundraiser to help homeless families in Sun Prairie. Admission is free, but you may want to bring some cash to buy food or merchandise from vendors at the park. You'll also want to bring your lawn chair or blankets. That's the Central Fellowship Group, and that event begins here at noon at church. And of course, Sunday, June 12th is Church in the Park. This is not only a church-wide fellowship event, it's an opportunity for the church to fellowship with our immediate community. As you know, Harvest Church has a ministry of invitation, so this is an excellent opportunity to practice your inviting skills. And there will be a coffee fellowship at Kyle McLean's house on Saturday, June 25th from 10 a.m. to noon. See Kyle or our announcement rotation for more details. That's all for now. This is Fellowship Correspondent Vaughn Larson. Back to the studio with Pastor Vaughn. Thanks, Vaughn. Harvest Church is looking for people to help set up and break down tables and chairs for Church in the Park, and also for side dishes to share for after the service. Pastor Jerry will cook up the burgers and brats, and the church will also provide the beverages. In about a month, we will be celebrating Pastor Jerry and Sherry's 5th anniversary here at Harvest Church. Pastor Jerry started preaching at Harvest the first Sunday in July 2011, back when this church met in a warehouse on Pepsi Way in Windsor. But Larry Levy, the superintendent of the Wisconsin and Northern Michigan District of the Assemblies of God, will preach here June 26 to help us celebrate 5 years with the Grimshaws. So mark your calendars, Sunday, June 26. Prayer is important at Harvest Church, so important that it has its own ministry, the Harvest House of Prayer. And that house is under new management. Our prayer correspondent has prepared this report.
Well, it actually began many years ago. I had gone to the International House of Prayer for a conference, and I didn't even know that's what it was called at the time. I just had gone to this conference, and at that conference I had been given a prophecy, and in that prophecy it had talked about the Lord drawing me closer to His love, and the end result would be faith and full belief and power. Not knowing what prophecy was back then, I kept it in my Bible, looked at it, every now and then, but was pretty perplexed until I came here. And when I started to attend the church here, Pastor Jerry and Pastor Sherry had encouraged me to go to the International House of Prayer. And so I finally did that, and when I went there, I had an encounter with God that was amazing. And I just felt like the Spirit said, bring the same Spirit back to Harvest Church. And so when I came back, I told Pastor Jerry what I felt like the Spirit said, and he then shared with me that a few months earlier, he had felt like the Lord had prompted him to ask me to run it, and he was just waiting for some confirmation. So that's how things came to pass. Well, I want it to be all about God. I don't want it to be about me or my agenda. And so I seek the heart of God on a regular basis. And when I was asking him all about what he wanted for this time, I felt like he shared with me what called the heart of a warrior. And within that, he's given me characteristics and that would be the heart of a warrior. And one is humility. We've talked about that. The next one is peace, and then love and intimacy with him. And then this week we're talking about obedience. And there's other characteristics such as honor and persistence. So as he shares with me what's on his heart, he just told me that my mandate is to take that and then share that with others. And so that's where we're at. I would encourage everyone to come. I know that my life has been dramatically changed since I've come to this church and been attending the prayer times. The Spirit of the Lord is here. I feel like the Lord has seen our heart as we're pressing in, and He wants us to press into more intimacy. He's calling us into that. And then through that intimacy with His love, then He's going to pour out more and more those greater works, the end time works that we read about in the book of Acts and in the Bible. And so I would just encourage everyone to come.
And that wraps up this edition of Harvest News. From the Reaching, Teaching, Caring, and Sharing News Desk, this is Pastor Vaughn reminding you to love God and love people. Pastor Jerry is next.